What's going on, everybody? On today's episode of the Ango Show, we're going to be taking a big look at some AEW stars who aren't happy not being utilized. There's one specifically that is now known. Also, some new TNA signings, really cool stuff there, and some great news for WWE, NXT, and the CW Network, and we're going to talk about it right here on TAS. So we have to kick it off with AEW. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to discuss Deonna Purrazzo, who apparently has become very vocal to AEW management that she wants to be utilized more. This is amazing because I have a lot of questions regarding this, and this is obviously something I'm passionate about, talent utilization, why people aren't being used. I want to know the answers. Fightful Select has reported that Deonna Purrazzo has been very vocal to management about wanting to be utilized more and better, especially around the Full Gear show in her hometown. Now, for context, if you guys don't know, it is January 24th. We haven't seen Deonna Purrazzo since January 4th on Collision. She put over the up-and-coming rookie, Toni Storm. There's been no announcements made as to when she is expected to wrestle. She's not in a program currently on AEW television. And listen, my question for the AEW audience is simply this. When AEW is signing somebody, such as Deonna Purrazzo, a former TNA Knockouts champion, look, people say, oh my God, she's great. She's going to come in. AEW is going to utilize her. AEW is going to make her a big star. She fits better in AEW. She's not going to do well in WWE. I want to know, how does it make you feel when Deonna Purrazzo comes out and basically wants management to do better by her? I don't understand where this whole thing comes from, where talent are signed to a company, they're treated like a big deal for a very, very short period of time, and then eventually they don't have any momentum. And for some reason, I look like the bad guy. I look like a grifter. I look like a guy who is engagement farming when I question this, but this is a constant trend on social media. Whenever AEW signs somebody, they're the next big thing. They're the next big deal. This is a major signing. They would have flopped in WWE. And then they come to AEW and nothing happens with them. So you know what? For me personally, I'm disappointed. I am always going to be disappointed in situations like this, and I don't really give a shit what anybody else says, because at the end of the day, I am watching people that I enjoy watching on TV go to this company and not being utilized. And if you think I'm the only person that's pissed off about it, I'm not, because now the talent are speaking up themselves. Deonna Purrazzo should be booked better, should be a prominent part of the women's division, and she clearly is not, and it's really disappointing. That brings us to our next topic, some new TNA signings. Frankie Kazarian has re-signed with TNA. Mustafa Ali came back on TNA Live, and he has officially signed with TNA. And Mance Warner is now in TNA as well. Mance Warner was revealed as the number 23 gimmick character. There's obviously a lot of context I should provide for you guys. One, Kazarian left AEW, returned to TNA, feels a lot happier in TNA. He's much more utilized in TNA. The guy is utilized often. He's treated as a big deal in TNA. Frankie Kazarian going back to TNA has been a breath of fresh air compared to his AEW run. Obviously, I miss SCU. A lot of people tend to not even remember that faction anymore, but it is what it is. Frankie Kazarian re-signed. I'm happy for him. He's doing great stuff in TNA. He's a great act, a great performer inside the ring and also outside of the ring. Mustafa Ali, to give you guys some context on his situation, he wasn't part of TNA under some sort of long-term agreement. He didn't sign with TNA, initially. He joined the company. They do like these handshake verbal agreements, maybe some short-term stuff that they put pen to paper, but Mustafa Ali wasn't technically part of the TNA roster. Now he actually is. Now he is committed to the company, which I am super ecstatic about. Mustafa Ali is just one of my favorites. He was one of my favorites in WWE. When I saw WWE treated him like shit, I was super excited to see what else he can do. He goes to TNA. He's been very impressive. Now he's back in the company. Now he's signed to the company. And obviously, I look forward to seeing what he does. There's a lot of great opportunity for him in this company. There's a lot of great opponents for him in this company. And because of that partnership with WWE, and recently he said some really good things about WWE, you have to wonder if he gets in the mix working with WWE and TNA at the same time, which could be very, very advantageous for his career. And then the third one, which is so interesting to me, Mance Warner. I'm going to be honest. I thought TNA was going to drop the ball with the 23 gimmick. And, we just saw this whole thing with AEW and WWE. Just, we've seen this thing with them where they bring in talent and sometimes they do these surprises and they're really, really good. TNA hasn't always been as good as those companies when it comes to like those surprise debuts. I thought for sure the 23 gimmick was just going to be a return of like Big Con. So that's like, again, my expectations were kind of low. We saw what happened with GCW and PCO. And TNA really found a way to capitalize off of this. Steph DeLander won the Digital Media Championship from the divorce, and then she brought out her boyfriend, Mance Warner. This is great. Mance Warner, honestly, like, for what I watch in GCW, I hope he sticks around in TNA and does some cool stuff in TNA because he's actually a pretty good performer. He's just not really been given that spotlight. So this is an opportunity for him for sure. And that's going to bring us to our next topic, NXT. Ladies and gentlemen, NXT is soaring with their ratings. Like, this is honestly a big shock. It's actually a big shock for me as well. I don't know if I necessarily expected NXT to be performing this well on the CW network consistently. To give you some context, in comparison to AEW Dynamite, which is AEW's A show, AEW Dynamite drew 655,000 viewers. Ladies and gentlemen, NXT did amazing numbers this past week. They did over 800,000. They are just shy of 900,000. And really the word going around town now is that the CW, they only pay $25 million a year for like their TV deal with NXT. They are ecstatic about these numbers. NXT is the best performing show on the CW, and really what it takes for AEW and NXT and all these companies to produce content and what it costs to produce content and getting these massive TV deals. NXT is so valuable to the CW that the CW is like underpaying at this point. And that's an amazing thing for CW, and that's why they're super happy with NXT. NXT is growing, NXT is becoming a big thing, and it's starting to really, really capture momentum. And I don't know if I ever expected NXT to do that at a time where AEW was losing momentum, because obviously AEW just killed NXT back in the day. So now this is it's just roles reversed. Really amazing things ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Ango Show. Thank you for watching.